Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm good. So today we have this one's gonna be a little bit different, I guess, than the usual thing, because usually I have things that you can get. But in this case, if you don't have a Yamaha Montage M, you cannot access this plugin. And it's, to my knowledge, nobody's pirated it. And I guess, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I kind of wish that everybody could have everything, or at least have a chance to have everything. But I also, I guess, to give a little bit of, to do the devil angel shoulder thing, the devil's advocate. I'm not sure which side's the devil. I feel like the side that's the devil is the side that doesn't want things to be pirated or shared. So I'll do devil's advocate. I worked on this for a long time. I mean, it was kind of off and on as, like, you know, new things would come on, and I made performances and sounds for it. And I would say that each sound and performance all together, because it happened in different slices of, like, progress while this was being made, took at least a few days for each one, right? In fact, what's funny is when I was working on this, Arturia reached out for me to work on the Mini Freak, and they wanted, I don't know, like 30 presets or something. And I immediately was like, absolutely not. Are you crazy? And I forgot that, like, making presets for the Mini Freak, you could make, 10 a day, whereas this is like a multi-day thing just for one. So anyway, that being said, all of that, and I definitely wasn't the only person on the team. There's a bunch of people. And all that being said, just with the actual preset making and the performance making, it's an incredibly expensive undertaking. Like, it's actually kind of insane. So I guess to imagine what would happen if people who just wanted access to those sounds and presets could get it in a plugin, then it would probably cannibalize some of the sales there, and they wouldn't be able to make money on it, which means they wouldn't be able to make another one. And that's just how things work. But anyway, so as it goes now, I was surprised to see that this actually came out, this plugin programmer that we're about to take a look at. And and it was kind of funny because what I programmed this on, I have software to program stuff for the Montage that you can't program on the Montage itself, for like factory things, like, deeper stuff. And it's hell to use. You have to use an Intel Mac. I don't work well with Macs anyway, so I had to have I had a Yamaha system for 2 years. Literally, I had a room that had a prototype of this and the computer. And, like, if anybody came to my house, like, for example, I'm not going to name names because it's their personal life, but a couple other YouTubers came over, and, like, random people came over who lived in the area, and they had to sign NDAs to even, like, come into my house, because there's this, like, massively secret piece of intellectual property at the time. And so anyway, point being is, when this plugin came out, I was like, what the fuck? That would have made my life so much easier to just have this, like, beautiful graphical interface rather than this crazy Excel looking thing that I did. So anyway, we'll look at that in a moment. To answer any other, one common question is going to be, is the sound coming out of this or out of the plugin? The sound is coming out of the plugin, which again is really surprising. I have a feeling like we're going to get some CPU spikes, because there's things that this can do that I frankly have never seen a VST do before. And this is the first time I'm deep diving into it, because I just got my hands on a non-prototype version of this keyboard now. One thing that I wish I could, like, I'm not going to be doing it in this stream, but I also have the Polyend press, which we need to look at soon, because this is one, I mean, I simp for Polyend all the time. I love the stuff they make, but the circuitry in that compressor is nuts. It's like literally a mastering box. It's great. Okay, and another thing, totally another world. And I've been asking anybody in my Discord, this won't be a surprise because they've probably read me asking the community about it. Next week, I may have the option to have a stream with somebody either, I think it would be in person with a guest, Chase Oliver, who is the National Libertarian Party lead running for president. There's some pros and cons to this. I like the idea because I think that it's, but I'm biased because I often say things like that I'm libertarian minded. And then a lot of people think when they think of libertarians, they think of like Elon Musk type people or gun nuts, when it's obviously a much larger spectrum than that. And Chase Oliver, one of the strongest points of his platform is human rights, especially in the gay and trans community and things like that. And so it's like, it is educational, but it's just not on color for my channel. And I don't want to seem like I am supporting a political candidate on a channel that has no business supporting a political candidate. You know, like if I want to be political on Twitter, that's fine. But on this channel, I do want to stay biased. So I'm sort of weighing that, and there's some really good discussion and points in the community about it. I really wish more than anything that I could have Chase Oliver and Jill Stein and literally just have a 2-hour discussion with them. That would be amazing. Just like a third party debate, not even a debate, like a third party discussion that would probably seem a lot more mature and philosophical than any presidential debate that happens between the main two parties. I don't know. So your thoughts are very welcome with that. But if you do have any sort of, definitely look at Chase Oliver's website and platform and stuff like that. But also in a state like Georgia, I initially wasn't going to say this publicly, but I feel like it is important. A vote for Chase Oliver in Georgia is more likely to be an alternative to Trump than the other side. So it is a purple state. It is a very important state. Last election, it was a few thousand, it was under, I don't know, it was like 10,000, under 10,000 votes. Yeah. And so, that's sort of, it actually is important. And it's obviously Chase or Jill Stein, aren't going to win the presidential election or come anywhere near it, as no third-party candidate has in a very long time. But in a state like this, a 1% swing to a third-party candidate could call the whole thing. So it's for the main two. Anyway, food for thought. If you're a member of the Discord, chime in. Let me know. Obviously, keep it civil. I understand. There's a lot of like extreme leftists in the Discord. That's fine. That's inviting. There's people who are more conservative in the Discord. We don't want to have a political debate. The whole point is to discuss philosophical, political ideas, not to discuss, not to do what is happening everywhere else. It's supposed to be refreshing and it's supposed to be educational. Otherwise, I don't want to do it. So anyway, let's go back to the Yamaha Montage. Oh, and also this would be on the main channel. This wouldn't be on this channel. I feel like it's way off color for this channel because this channel's a dorky shit. All right, here we go. Look at this. I can't believe I'm actually looking at it in the, well, it's not flesh, I suppose. Let's make me a tiny bit smaller. You don't need me over here. One day I'll figure out how to use this. There we go. Look at me. And I could read all the beautiful chats happening. I sound delusional. All right. Musk is a libertarian as long as you agree with him. Yeah. I don't think Musk is a libertarian in any in any world except for his own. He kind of violates every. All right. So this is kind of a very simplified look at the montage. I do like this, the effects routing. That's nice. I'm trying to see if it has, the assignments sort of read out the same. And then we could look at that down there. This is going to be an interesting voyage. This is the super knob assignments. This is the kind of like motion control, motion sequence is what it's called. And then this is, we're probably not going to be using that at all. That's just things. So let's see how far we could get with just the main preset, and try not to roll over my dog, who always sits under my computer chair because that's her vibe. Also, my pedal is just flying around. I feel like my voice is too loud for this. I mean, the piano sounds absolutely incredible, but can we? Yes. So, okay, these are our bass patches, and I'm trying to see if we can actually dive any deeper into them. And I can't imagine that we'll be able to get too deep in it in this plugin. We do have all these filters for all these key groups. It's so interesting to see these in a different type of... All right, so let's go to a more complicated preset. Or you know what? Let's see. It's gonna be interesting to use any of my piano presets on the computer. This isn't mine, by the way. I will find mine. I do have some pianos in here. Also, guess what? I feel like I'm going to be darting all over the place in this stream just because I'm like a little excited. Okay, I feel like the electric pianos on the Montage are the best I've ever heard or used. I feel like that is, and on the Montage M and on the original Montage, I feel like that is an argument in itself for ownership of the Montage, as if you play electric piano. Like the action of them is so. So this is what the super knob does on the actual unit itself. Super knobs can be way more dramatic than this. And then you have stored scenes for the same instrument. It's just different configurations with like the filter and the envelope and the effects. And the routing of, not routing, but the modulation. So there is one that has, where you could hear the raw physical modeling of what's happening. Might be this one. Yeah, like mutes. Yeah, it's this one. Okay, so. So let's just listen to the physical modeling itself. Oh, hey, the Gantian. I talked about this last week for a minute. There was a big Patreon, the API just wasn't doing, due to some stupid setting that has nothing to do with joining. I basically had it so people wouldn't get kicked out if they didn't pay Patreon, because whatever, if you can't afford $1, like, some people in India and stuff like that the payment gateway wasn't working for them for whatever reason. And so I didn't want them to get kicked out. And for me, not having Patreon kick them out, the whole thing stopped working with the invite system. I believe it totally works now. But yeah, we just looked at the log and noticed that we hadn't had anybody new for a long time. But yeah, it should be good now. If it isn't, please let me know. But so yeah, listen to this. I think we have another gallery here too. Yeah. I feel like I need to mute my microphone for this to work. Still not working? Okay. We're going to fix that. You know what you could do right now? Let me, let's take a pause really quick. I'm going to do this. I'm going to open up my Discord. I am going to give you my Discord name. I think. I'm also not good at Discord, which is probably a big reason why this problem exists. How do you just invite somebody to message you on Discord? Copy username. Let's see if this works. Nope. Okay. My username on Discord is Ben Jordan with no spaces. That I don't know if that's going to help you. But if you message me saying I can't get on the server, I will invite you to the server, whether you're a Patreon member or not. Okay. And then we will look in. I'm going to send a message to Patreon because this is properly pissing me off at this point. Like I pay Patreon a lot of money to do this right, and yeah. Yeah. Okay, so next let's find a good, maybe find like a really chill, and I would like to hear the new reverb that just came out in the new version. It should be here. Oh wow, yeah, we could look at all the overviews here. The master EQ, the routing. All right, got to start with the reverbs. This isn't even the new one, by the way. This is just the normal. Yeah, Information Cake, you could do that. That's fine. That'd be great. I appreciate it. Thank you. I didn't even think of that. Okay, so then we have multi-effects. Do we need to press play for this? Yeah, I'll have to post something on Patreon as well with a link. I appreciate it. That's really frustrating that Oh yeah, the envelope follower is absolutely crazy. At one point I made a big old preset with it and kind of I feel like I could never get back to that level of knowing what I'm doing with this. Looking at how all these work. Oh yeah, we have time sweeping, so we could go. Oh yeah, the attack. And then we want an extra release. The tempo spiralizers are kind of weird. They're like extreme flangers. And you could put them in like a major scale. Yeah, you know, I can. I'm sorry. I feel like, oh yeah, I'm dumb. Sorry about that. That's actually like almost too, are you missing anything there? Almost. Let me see. I could, surprised that it's big enough because it's so small for my eyes with everything that's going on with it. All right. That should make things a little bit better. Wonder if I could change the routing a little bit. We would need to change this to tempo spiralizer, which shouldn't be that hard. I don't seem to hear the actual, but whatever, we could change presets too. For now, let's just listen to the reverb, because we do have that new one. We have the Rev X Hall. I want to go into, there we go. This is actually the older reverb. Like the old, I believe. And then I believe that HD Hall has been updated. So this one sounds a little bit better than it used to. Not great though. I mean, not like the best thing you've ever heard, but. But definitely better than what comes with virtually every other damn every other damn workstation / multi-synth. And I think this is the super old one. Yeah, this one's not great. And then the newer ones, well, we have Space Sim. The newer one is Shimmer, which actually kind of acts a little bit like, it's like a very a more limited version of, I don't know, I guess I would like say it's a mixture between like Supermassive, like the way the algorithm works, between Supermassive and Shimmer, if you were to just like compare them to Valhalla verbs. Yeah, like all the presets are not great on the actual Montage as well, but we could dial it in. And when I say not great, I mean not great by the standards of this channel and the crazy amount of dorkiness that we put into reverb. So if you just like fine tune these so they're a little bit more modulated. Still a little bit too high. All right. Yeah, it's so funny because it's marketed as a shimmer reverb, but like this is way cooler than a shimmer. Although we can make a shimmer happen. Maybe even a tuned shimmer. Although we'll have to keep the feedback down. Let's go to 5/7. Actually does sound like voices. Space Simulator's an interesting one. I definitely played with it a whole bunch before the firmware came out with the shimmer algorithm, but I would always try and like get a little more out of this. Like a little bit more of an interesting reverb sound. Yeah, I think the cheapest you could get this for is what, $3 grand? Okay, new sound. Let's listen to some synths. Yeah, I feel like most people, when asking questions about one of the first things they read about this whole thing is the new ANX engine, which is like an utterly insane. So let's hear that. It's a synth I mean, it's an analog synth emulation. Nope, sorry. I need to stay in this zone here. That's pretty raw. Try and find because this has CS80 waveforms or wave ROMs, I guess. Well, I can't use the polyphonic aftertouch just with the way I have this set up. Yeah, so this one has the super knob modulated. I think this is mine, one of my presets. Yeah. I wonder if I could modulate the super knob to the super knob just in the session here. That would be kind of handy. Maybe I should look at the sidebar. Let's see. Wow, there's a lot of things. Yep, that's a lot of controls. Good Lord. Let me look and see where the super knob would be. Control number. Ribbon control, breath control. Assign knob. 95. Okay. Let's see if this works. Go to 95. Link. Hell yeah, did it work? Oh, it worked. Amazing. Okay. So now I can actually at that price, it's not a standalone, is very disappointing. This is a standalone synth, right? Maybe I'm... Oh yeah, not with the old one, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, depending on how much you like the Montage, like if you're a Montage fan, then obviously, I mean, I feel like I'm not saying anything too useful there. Like if you really like the Montage, you'll love the new Montage, but yeah, depends how much you use it. If you use it a lot, then yeah, I would say the upgrade's worth it. Let me remove some of these. Ghost. Yeah, here's one of mine. I should bind the mod wheel while we're at it here. My presets are a little weird, I'm gonna warn you. My goodness, okay. Oh, here's another one of mine. This one, oh my God, there are so many. There are so many FM operators. Like, and they're going in between here. Like yeah. Some of my patches literally have like days and days and days of FM programming. All right, let's hear this one. That's supposed to be way slower, isn't it? Yep. This, I think I'm like, in some way, I'm kind of happy to find out that my CPU cannot handle my bigger patches. Like, it was definitely clicking out. I felt like that would be, oh, there's another one of mine. I feel like I'm not getting any mod wheel performance out of this. Let me make sure that I should have set up a camera up here. Well, I mean, there's not that much going on this screen because I'm using it here, but I would like to do an actual montage stream where you get to see like the actual thing. Mod wheel. The ribbon controller, foot controller. Breath controller. Huh. Control assign. This might be a little too deep to be playing around with in a stream, unfortunately. Utility. Wonder if I could accept the clock from the montage. That would be nice. Oh, never mind. No, I don't want to do that. Modulation wheel. Oh, there we go. Got it working now. Great. Okay, so this should... One thing that I love doing with my patches is making FM self-modulate, which we'll example right now. There's way better examples in here as well. This one's old. PlayStation. I have a self-playing patch that is fully generative. One would think it would be in musical effects, but we'll find out. Additive movement, Emerald Frost. That's not mine. Oh, Cosmo Clavier. This one's mine. Digital Analog Daily says, I'm confused as to the point if you have the actual keyboard. To be able to use it in a session easily. If you just, like, for me, like, so I guess here's something that should be considered. I keep forgetting that I'm using the plugin and not the actual keyboard. Something that should be considered if you are, like, if you spend $4+ grand on this 88 key Montage M, and you're performing with it, right? Something like that. Or if you make a bunch of patches on it, or you edit a bunch of patches on it, or performances, and keep in mind that like each patch or not even a performance, like there's category performances and then there's general patches, and those patches can have 8 instruments in them that they could like follow each other's envelopes, they could feed into one another, and then those go into the master effect. So like each patch is like a DAW. And then of course there's like a really advanced arpeggiator and sequencer that goes with it. And it's all meant to be played live, kind of like somewhere between, you know, an arpeggiator, but the kind that, you know, we would use in a DAW, and a performance keyboard, like the Genuos or something. So anyway, if you do that much work in there and then you wanted to play one of those songs in a session without having to like record it, you know, so you could edit it later and stuff, this is actually really useful. Or if you just really like the piano sound and you want to bring it into a session, I think that's why it runs independent of the Montage, like why you know, would have that, so you could bring it also, so you could like edit your patches on a laptop, something like that. There is another thing to point out, is that you can actually, this is pretty intuitive, you kind of go back and forth between these and, you know, make patches, send patches, but it's not a real-time back and forth. I might be able to do that to show you the patch programming. The thing is I'm not sure that this gets deep enough to really get into it unless I'm missing something huge. Let's take a look really fast. Let me get into another one that I'm familiar with. So all of these are different instruments. So these are 3 different ANX emulators, which are, I mean, we could just like solo one and turn off the effects. I like how I say that and then I'm just lost in it. Okay. And then let's add in this one as well. This one's just a sine. And then this one's a pad. Multi-track different voices, yes. I could open up multiple versions of this plugin if I want to. That might make my brain pop, unfortunately, if I did something like that. Okay, and then the FM channel is just this, if anything. Maybe it's only happening, oh, it's only happening when you open this up, perhaps. It's just harmonics. Here they come. And then here you could see the actual operators. It's not nearly as detailed as it is on the keyboard. Can we change the ratios? Should be able to. Maybe pad choir. I'm looking for my other. I think maybe it's called like one key, one touch. I don't remember what I named my button. Nah, key. No, that ain't gonna bring me down anything. Press. Generative. Maybe Benn? No, maybe there's like metadata in there. So it would be from the Montage M. We could at least bring it down to that. That would be an attribute. I'm trying to find my one touch one. Oh, here's one. Saw it a minute ago. It's gone. There it is. This is named after a song. 24 operator organism. Quite a few. Yeah, I feel like I can't get completely into the bottom of this, but so I'm missing, when you say it would be cool if the major synth manufacturers would think about connecting the hardware synth with the computer in some way or another. What do you mean? Like, I feel like this is a pretty good thing. I mean, because this is, obviously, the Montage is entirely MIDI controllable. Like, yeah, I wish I could, like, take the webcam off and show you. If you go into the MIDI control settings, I mean, it's literally like an operating system of CC and polyphonic aftertouch controls and everything. Like every single one of these things and every single one of these things can be controlled in and out, but also here it's being emulated. Like I guess my question is like what would you want that this isn't doing, I guess? Like how would that be, like, practically, I guess? Yeah, because this allows me to have this sort of craziness on my laptop if I'm traveling or something. If I were traveling and working on a track and I wanted to use this, then I guess this must be it. Okay, let me press one key and see if this is what I think it is. There we go. Just listen to my patch for an hour. Oh, okay. I thought you meant Yamaha was... Okay. Yeah, this would be great if if everything did this. Arturia did a pretty good job. Overbridge has always been kind of buggy for me with Electron stuff, but that's in the right direction too. Yeah, the audio over USB. Polyend stuff does that too now. I'm not sure if I've really put it to use yet, but yeah, it's definitely handy. Do I have an album coming out soon? No. I am currently I have a fuck ton of music that I've not released. I have the non-album website where some of that is. Some of that was in Curlian tapes. I don't know what to do with my music. Yeah, I guess to be completely transparent or be completely honest, I don't really know like what the point of releasing music is rather than just sharing it. Like, I don't know. I also I'm conflicted on participating in the current ecosystem with DSPs, especially after what happened in February or March, whenever that was, when my music got pulled for no reason. And I just kind of fucking hate it. I hate it so much. And so like I've been writing tons of music, and I've been playing in both in here and in the house where I have more acoustic instruments and stuff, and I've been loving it because I'm not thinking about releasing it at all. Like, it just doesn't, and I have so much, it's so much more beautiful to do it that way because everything in the industry is so gross right now, as you could probably tell from everything on my channel, constantly shit talking it. So that's where I'm at. But I would like to share it at some point somehow. I have one idea. It's a little far-fetched, and I would need to hire some developers, but I do have one idea. It's not a new streaming service, but yeah, it's... Yeah, this isn't, to answer your question about this patch, this one is not, I don't think we're going to be able to get under the hood too much with it, unfortunately, due to just the limitations of this plugin in particular. Yeah. Let me find my piano. Where's my damn piano? That ain't it. I have some weird piano stuff going on in here. Old tapes. That's mine. Epic sold Bandcamp. I don't think Bandcamp's bad now. It's just more. Here's the problem with Bandcamp. Here's the problem with Bandcamp, kids. The problem is it fucking sucks. No, the Bandcamp's fine. The problem with Bandcamp is that we have. I'll go full screen for this rant. So if you are a member of the Discord, you could probably find. Actually, I think it was an invite-only channel, but we have this channel that talked about replacing DSPs and how to do it, how to make a Bandcamp that streams. Easy enough, right? Like not that complicated to stream music. And at one point, to give you like a quick, really fast rundown of what we did. At one point, we were using, with all the developers there, I really, really wanted to wrap my head around this myself. We had a dedicated server, but we also had an IPSF, a music streaming player that would play music off IPSF, which is decentralized, which means that the costs to keep it up and running, as long as there's people using it, we had a server that was like, basically just being like a safety net, but as long as people are using it, then server costs are nothing. It's almost like torrenting, but a more modern version of it. And we were able to start and stop and scroll around through songs faster than how Spotify and Tidal do it, which is great, right? Okay, so easy enough. Now all we need to do is make apps and test them. Problem is, Apple is going to take 1/3 of every single dime that you pay to use that service, and 1/3 of every single, so that means that artists immediately are just giving 1/3 to Apple for anybody using an iDevice to listen to your music. Google does the exact same thing, but since my channel is a business, my channel is under the umbrella of a nonprofit organization, and as long as I got 501c3 tax deductible status, which I don't need right now for anything, but for that, as long as I had that, as long as I could give that certificate to Google, they would waive platform fees other than, maybe a couple percentages just for the transaction fee. Apple said, go fuck yourself. They said, absolutely not. We're going to take 1/3 no matter what. So if you have an iPhone, which 52% of America does right now, if you have an iPhone and you want to download music off Bandcamp and access it and move it around into files and folders without going through Apple's payment gateway, guess what? You have to pay Apple or you can't access your file system. So my answer to that, in terms of ultimately my takeaway was, we're fucked. We waited too long. We shouldn't have let that happen. We should have been more, when smartphones were coming out and when these companies were demanding 1/3 for every transaction going through them, I don't know what we would have done. Fucking bombed Apple. I'm not sure what you've done. But yeah, we're fucked. It's too late. There's nothing we could do. So it'd be better for Epic to fight that battle for us and these companies that are, these billion-dollar conglomerates fighting back and forth about these things. And if Congress ever acts to make it illegal to essentially extort money the way that Apple and Android and, Microsoft does, then we could have a chance to actually compete with other services. Somebody would be able to make a Bandcamp that, or make a Spotify that was a little bit more like Bandcamp and how it paid artists. So that idea is on hold until the universe changes to be less shitty. However, one thing that I'm obsessed with, and it's not nearly as big of an idea, it's not even as ambitious, is what if I released an album that was one file and there was a player that ran on your smartphone, and it worked with Bluetooth and stuff, and the player operated like a cassette tape, meaning that you could fast forward and rewind, but you couldn't skip tracks. You had to listen to it like a cassette tape, and the file was encrypted, not to prevent copying or anything like that. The only reason the file was encrypted was to prevent you from listening to it in Winamp or somewhere else. You had to listen to it in that app, even if it's a web player, because the whole point of it is to take back the idea of having to sacrifice a little bit of your time and patience to fast forward or to skip a song. That way it's not just this like, that we're not constantly, listening to music the way you would use Tinder or something, where you're constantly swiping. And it's funny because one of the people who really reflected how important this was Aphex Twin, because Aphex, not that I don't think he cares that I'm releasing this personal information about him, but he listens to a tape player while doing work around the house and in the yard and stuff. And I've like yearned for that experience, but I also don't want to have to ship things around because it's wasteful into this day and age. So what if there's a web player? And what if I released an album like that? And what if it was just sort of like my stupid web player for my album? That's how you buy my album. Otherwise, if you want to, you could download the MP3s for free. And sure, maybe it'll be on streaming service or something like that. And then anybody else who wants to use it, it's just open source for them. And they could use it, and you just download, you buy, donate to, or get for free, or however the artist wants to do it. You download those tapes, those virtual little encrypted files, and then you just use it like a tape. Kitschy. It's not going to take off. It's not going to replace anything, but it brings back something that we lost, right? Not to be like Rick Beato-y about it, but I think that's important. How do we feel about this? How stupid am I? The funny thing is there's some people that I've spoken to about the Spotify alternative. There are some good ideas out there. Maybe one of them will actually poke through a bit. And there are some really talented developers, some that work with Spotify, some who are ex-Spotify employees. I can't really talk about it too much publicly without asking them. But like I've had this conversation with a lot of people, and it's funny because when I've run this tape idea past a few of them, it's just like small potatoes, They're like, yeah, that's cool, but like, who the fuck would use that other than you and 5 of your friends? And it's like, that's fine though. 5 of my friends is great. Yeah. Okay, Randy. I'm glad you said that. It's funny because, oh yeah. Okay. So you've seen stalking my GitHub. Yes, I've definitely downloaded tape players to look at the code to see like how it's working and see if there's anything. But yeah, to a lot of people, they would see it as DRM because it is limiting, right? It is saying like, no, you can't skip past music and you can't do it anymore. We have to go before the CD at this point. But like, that's the reward. Because you think about it, you think about these albums that you used to listen to when you were younger. Like imagine if, just hear me out for a second. Imagine that, I don't know what the general music listening demographic is of this chat right now, or who's watching this, but like, let's say, I assume some of us are familiar with Autiker, Boards of Canada, Square Pusher, Aphex Twin, that whole world of left field electronica. Imagine for a second that all of them, all of these acts, if Warp Records and Reflex Records catalog came out with, in today's world, or let's say that the technology we have today existed back when Warp Records was putting out just that little subgenre of music, do you think for a second that it would have actually become a thing, that it would have picked up? I don't, because guess what? If I just take somebody who's never heard Autiker or Future Sound of London or any of that sort of like outsider music, and if you play it for them or if you send them a Spotify link, they go, this is noise. And they click off it because it doesn't have an immediate pull to it. And that is robbery because you realize that it's those shitty tracks that you didn't really like that you listened to a few times because you had to, because the CD player was over there or something. You couldn't just go past, or you paid for the album. You paid $20 for a CD, for this, rare CD, and you're going to listen to it over and over again and give it every chance you do. But those things that you listen to over and over again are those innovative things that inspired me. Those are the ones that that I remember as like the all-time legendary tracks, because And one last rant here. Another thing that started to bother me in my YouTube channel, one of my magic tricks that I've discovered 2 years ago or so is that's led to my channel growing exponentially is in the beginning of the video, you want to advertise the rest of the video. You want to say, hi, I'm this person, and this is what we're going to do. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. And then who knows how this is going to turn out. Come on, let's go. I do that in almost every video where I want a lot of views. Some videos I don't really care if I get a lot of views. When you upload music to Spotify and to DSPs now, that's what's happening when a song takes off, right? Is like you start listening to it in the beginning of the song, it has to kind of be like, all right, we got this voice and it's saying something weird, and then we got this sick beat coming in behind it, and you kind of have to write music like that if you wanted something to just break out nowadays in a Spotify algorithm. And fuck that. I cannot do that. Like, I absolutely refuse to participate in that. So, and I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it turns into like a sort of TikTokification, which I just don't mesh with that at all. So whatever. So I think that maybe having an app that, you know, only allows fast forwarding and rewinding like a tape does, and then maybe just, you know, giving it an optional tape emulation effect and rewind and fast forward sound effect just for the novelty of it. You know, obviously you could turn it off if you want. I feel like that's actually more beneficial than we think. The whole point is less is more when it comes to control. But yeah, it does sound like DRM. A lot going on in the chat. Let's look at some of these really fast. Swarm of Dead Insects. I started with music on vinyl and pirated reel-to-reel tapes. I didn't start with vinyl. I started with tapes, though. I wonder what my first tape was. Might have been MJ. Might have been Michael Jackson's Bad, I think. I don't know. Concept albums, absolutely. Yeah, Christopher. Like, honestly, like, when I think of a concept album, like the ultimate concept album, I mean, Dad Rocky, but Pink Floyd The Wall. Like, I feel like not enough people made things like that, where they're like, let's, you know, like Pink Floyd The Wall to me is like an opera. Especially when you see it live, you realize that it's an opera. But yeah, it just reads like an opera of like a modern, like not modern anymore. But yeah, I wish people did more things like that. That'd be amazing. But, oh yeah, Bowie's outside. That's right. I'm just going through these chats. Like a Java applet or Electron JS app. That's a good question. I don't really know, to be honest. I would probably just want it to be made in something that could easily be ported, or some sort of framework that, you know, if you build it for Android, it'll work with 80% or more of the phones. So you're not constantly having to deal with, you know, that. I don't want to have to pay a staff to keep updating it. I would much rather it just sort of run on its own. But I would also love for it to be FOSS, or full open source. Yeah, I would love for it to just be open source, so you didn't have to do that. Like, the idea is not to make money from the app or you know, the player itself. The idea is to make money from the music and just to share the music in a way where it can be appreciated more. Anyway, also, how cool would it be for sim selections to be available that way? That'd be rad. Like the entire library. Ooh, my God. Imagine that with each month being a tape. You just have these tapes, and then you think, and then really you think about like, oh my God, there was that one really awesome track, like one that really leads you in, like pop bot songs, you know, the first time you hear those, you're like, oh yeah. And I mean, they still are awesome the second and third time, but they're the ones that like pull you in the quickest. And then you'll be like, oh yeah, I want to hear that one again. And then you have to actually listen to other people's music and get used to it. And then you'll have the new melody in your head from that one, and you'll end up appreciating more music and more ideas. And wow, I hate how I'm like describing this like a visionary, like I'm talking like I'm a visionary, yet I'm just describing what every single person did in the 90s and early 2000s when they listened to music. Like, it's just like it's not that visionary, man. It's actually old. Ugh. All right. Let's get back into this. Raspberry Pi or Arduino-based player. I have looked into that with the encrypted SD card. Yeah, I mean, I have Pis all over the place. There's like, I actually have a lot just from various projects that I've been working on. I had a friend in the hospital, and I made him a console that played every Nintendo and Super Nintendo and PlayStation and all that stuff. And then, yeah, I bought a lot of Raspberry Pis this year. And then the Sonic camera. Kind of forgot that was my last video that came out. Like, that's a long time ago. We're editing the mastering one. I promise it'll be great. I like this one. So one thing that you're not able to hear here, I don't think, is, well, let's see how this works. Chicago, 2005. All right. So these are the crazy performances I made, and I don't know if they're going to work on this plugin correctly. Oh, okay. That's strange. I did not think this would work. Let's see how far we could get with this. Okay, now this should... I can't believe this works on here. I can't wait. I also can't wait to see how my CPU freaks out from it. Okay, so now we have these. This is another one. This should be 140. I think I have one called Argentina something. There we go. Argentina 2080. Yeah, the idea for this one is supposed to sort of emulate a Steve Reich choir. Hurrah. CS80. Trying to find more patches. The least Blade Runner-y, definitely organ stuff, because it kind of almost is an organ, and it sounds very much like an organ when you actually play one. It's like an organ without the things that are fun about an organ, I guess. Like the, you know, the pedals and key beds and... Hell yeah. Girl. They're kind of... I haven't listened to all the new presets because I didn't choose to make presets for the newest firmware. Some of them are a little much on the whatever you call it, shimmer. I wish that I could show you yeah, we do need to do a full-on montage stream because I really wish that I could show you the smart morph. I don't think it's in here. I feel like that's the coolest part about the montage, is being able to like paint your way into an FM patch. Oh, these are all automated right now. Sorry. Oh, this would be a good time to play with that. Well, first of all, we want to make this. Oh yeah, we have these reverbs as well. There's like so much all in one window. It's so hard to get used to it. Oh. I feel like some of these you can edit and some of them you can't. How do I get to that main reverb? I had no idea there was a quick edit. Oops. Wow. Oh dear. Here's all our arpeggiate. We found all our arpeggio sequences. Goodness. Yeah, this is heady. There's a lot going on here. Where are our main controls? Yeah, there's a lot of shaping here. Wow. Getting somewhere. One day we'll figure out the reverb situation and why I cannot seem to I can't seem to have any access to my reverb setting on the main reverb output channel. It is a little crazy. It is peaceful, though, editing it. Even though I'm completely lost, and I wish that I could just open it up on the montage and switch what I need to switch. Of course, we could change to pure major. For anybody who loves microtone. Yeah, this is, if you find the reverb, you finish the last, you get your last little medal or whatever you call it, your last reward. Well, I guess I give up on the reverb thing. I don't understand why it's more available in some. It's like I have to choose between the original effects. Yeah. There's just no way out, man. But if I load a different... Oh dear. Some of those are cheesy. It's true. Yeah, they have... Do we have any chromatic? They get kind of crazy. Yeah, okay, this one we could edit. We could bring in a good verb. Maybe we want the other. Yes. I like how it seems like it's going to distort, but it never really does. At least for me. Okay, let's add a piano, or an electric piano. And then let's add a... what the fuck should I add? Nice. There's so much going on in this patch. Oh my god, I just realized what I was doing wrong earlier. I was literally just treating this like it was a one... I'm stupid. Yeah, all of these have entire effects chains. So if we go to like the routing, each part has all of this routing happening. So only part one. And then this is common. Wow, okay. So if I want to go to the telharmonics, and I want to kill that high end. Oh shit, I got an idea. See if I could crash my session. Playing with fire here. Yeah, true, I should go down. Whatever this is. Ah, it's because of this. Check out my new song. Wonder what happens if I just play a G minor now. Whoa! All right. Give it a full. No, maybe. All right. Well, anyway, so that's the Yamaha Montage M E. Ow! I just caught my finger in between this thing and that. Anyway, thanks for watching. It was a fun stream. Next week's I think going to be a really weird stream with a major, well, not major, almost major political party candidate, or it's going to be checking out the Polyend Press or Synth Master, or maybe some mastering stuff, or some AI stuff. There's a lot of stuff to check out. I also have this right there. See that? Let me know what that is. It's a DSP platform pedal. It has a Daisy chip in it. A lot of working on that. Oh, also, speaking of reverbs, there is a new firmware for this. There's a new firmware update, and there's also an editor for this now, a computer editor, which, as much as I think that pedal's interface is as good as it could possibly be for the amount of complexity that's on it, it's still heady, and it'll be really nice to edit it on the computer. So, yeah. Thanks for watching and hanging, and I should have a new video out soon. It's in the editing process now, finally. I had a lot of delays with it, but for good reason that you'll understand in the video. One of them being a major survey with close to 500 people listening to a bunch of masters and rating them, and also waiting for mastering engineers to do their work, which I'm happy to wait for if it gives us a good answer. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon in a few, see you in like 5 days or so, maybe less, and I'll be on the Discord. Also, yeah, let me put a link to the Discord before I forget. I will invite y'all to the server for anybody who doesn't have. Oh wait, that already happened, didn't it? Do I need to do that as well? Would that be good? Hidden, use copy button. Okay. All right. There you go on. Oh, my mom wants to see Lucy. I'll show you Lucy. You want to see Lucy? Here she comes. Oh my goodness. There's Lucy. Notice anything different? She says, yeah, I got a little haircut. Maybe you notice it. How you doing? How are you? Tell the people. Lucy is in good spirits. She looks like she's not doing great because of this, but really, she's just been chewing her paw a lot, and I keep telling her not to, and she keeps sneaking. So now she's wearing this, but she doesn't mind it because it makes everything a pillow. She can just go to sleep on the spot. So are you happy with that? Yeah, she says, yeah, I'm good. So she's fine. She's loving the cool weather. She went for a big walk today. And tomorrow she's going to go to a campsite. She's like, wait, what? Fuck that. It's cold. All right. I'll see y'all later. Bye, Mom. Bye, everybody.